Question. Can you do the can? Can you? So today we're going to talk about 5 different uses of the word can in English. Usually when we think of the word can, we just think of ability, like I can swim or I can read. But we have more uses of the word can, and today we're going to focus on 5 completely different uses of this word. Now, before we start, I'd like you guys, if you haven't yet, to please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. I'm sorry to bother you about this every time, but it is very, very useful for me, very motivating for me as well. The first one we'll talk about is using can for permission. So this is when you're asking for permission or when you're giving permission to someone. Now, in a classroom setting, you might ask the question, can I go to the bathroom, to your teacher? Can I go to the bathroom? And a lot of times your teacher might correct you and say, may I go to the bathroom? Okay. Technically, may is used more commonly for permission. It's more, let's say it's more correct to say may I for permission, but we use can so often in this way, and it's much more natural for people to use can on a daily basis. So some examples of this could be, can I go to the bathroom? Or can we leave early today? Or can I open the window? Like, do you mind if I open the window? Can I open the window? And can I use your phone charger? If maybe you see someone's phone charger there and you don't want to touch it without asking first. So, can I use your phone charger? All right. Can I borrow your pen? Sure. Here you go. The next one that we'll talk about is using can for requests or offers. So this is if you're asking for something from someone in a polite way, or offering something to someone in a polite way. Now, it's much more polite to say could in these situations, but we're going to go with can because it's also possible and it's more natural, especially in just like a casual situation with your friends. So you might ask, can you help me with this? Okay, can you help me with this form? Can you show me how to do it? Or can I carry that for you? Can I get you something to drink? All right, these are nice, friendly ways of offering or requesting something, but more in a casual way than using could. Sorry, can you fix the Wi-Fi? I'll try. The third use of can that I have for you today is using can for talking about possibility or truths. This one may seem a bit illogical because we're using can, so why would that be a truth? But this is a way of stating something that is possible, likely, especially when we're describing something. I'll give you some examples here, like learning English, learning English can be hard sometimes, okay? Learning English can be hard sometimes. Or here in Vietnam, it can rain a lot in April. Or dogs. Dogs can be very loyal pets. If we're talking about food, we could say Mexican food can be spicy. All right? We are stating a possibility or stating a truth, but in a different way than just using the verb to be or another verb. Can it snow in Madrid? Yes, but not very often. The next one is an interesting one. We use can sometimes to express an annoyance when we're annoyed with someone or when we're frustrated about something. My sister can be really loud sometimes. Okay, my sister can be really loud sometimes. Or, my computer can be so slow sometimes. Or my internet connection here at home can be so laggy. This job can be so exhausting. Okay. And sometimes tourists can be rude. Sometimes tourists can be so rude. And we use this when, especially when we just witness something or when we just experience something, then we say it. For example, if you're out in the street, you see, I don't know, people throwing litter on the ground. You say, oh, some people can be so uncivilized, or some people can be so rude. Do you like your flatmates? Yeah, but one of them can be super messy sometimes. And the last use of can that we'll talk about today is one that is very useful, and that is to express sarcasm or use an ironic tone. If you don't know what sarcasm or irony are, I'll explain in a way that's hopefully easy for you to understand. So irony is a kind of comedic device. It's a way of making people laugh. It's by saying maybe the opposite of what is true. For example, if you walk into a shop and it's really noisy, you could say, wow, this sounds like a great place to read a book. Okay, that could be interpreted as irony or sarcasm. Sarcasm is the same as irony, except sarcasm is meant to criticize something. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples of sarcasm using can. For example, your friend is talking about maybe communicating with his ex-girlfriend. Oh, yeah, you can text your ex. Great idea. Okay, I'm being sarcastic. I think it's a bad idea, but I'm saying, great idea. Okay. If somebody has some food that they're about to eat and it looks really gross, maybe it looks like it's not clean or it's off or it's rotten or it just looks disgusting, you could say, oh, well, you can eat that, but don't blame me if you get sick. Okay, that's being a little bit sarcastic. Okay. If you're a teacher, you might talk this way to students sometimes. You might say, yeah, you can skip class again. Or you can, if you want, you can not do your homework. What could go wrong? What could I do? Okay. You know what you can do if you're a teacher in that situation. Okay. So that's being ironic. Sometimes it makes people laugh. Sometimes you're just being what we call passive aggressive. I think I'll skip the test. Sure, you can if you want to repeat the course.